Hello, everybody, and welcome to Toffee Bluecast Instant Match Reaction. Everton 1, West Ham 1. I'm sure you'll have plenty to say because I'm sure we will have as well. Just watched it whilst I had my pool match. Come straight back home after the pool match, and here we are, match reaction. Paul, talk to me first. I'm just going to retweet it on X. It will be live on X. It will be live on Facebook. This goes out live on X, live on Facebook, live on YouTube. If you can like it early and share it about, it's appreciated. Instant match reaction, Paul.
Frustrating, really frustrating. I'm not worried. I think obviously we're going to be fine in what we do, but we've got no sort of teeth. We've got no head of this snake. Do you know what I mean? We've not got any bite in the area at all, and it is literally crosses coming in. It seems as though our opportunities for scoring tend to be shots from the edge of the box or a cross coming in, which is scored by a header. It is frustrating, and you can see it breaking down all the time. The three in behind, whoever's playing up front, it's going to affect them because eventually when they get the ball in the box, they've got to put it on an absolute pinhead for whoever's up there. It's got to be in front of them because their movement's not great, and it just broke down too much. And West Ham, I think if they hadn't sacked Potter at the weekend, I think we would have edged it, because I don't think they would have had that resilience to come back into it, and that's another frustrating thing. We are better than what we are playing right now. It should have been 3 points, but we didn't deserve it.
I know a lot of you coming out the stadium. Do get your comments in. Instant match reaction. One thing I will say is I'm just really frustrated, and I said when I was watching it to a couple of people, I says we're going to regret not having more out of dominating that first half. Now, that first half, the Michael Keane goal come nice and early. Cracking goal by Michael Keane, by the way. I was thinking Keano at the time when he scored it. I was thinking of you, Paul. Keano, cracking goal. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I was starting to think, I can see why Paul called him Keano. Cracking goal. And we went 1-0 up early. I've never seen such a poor team as that West Ham team was first half. And I think that when a team plays that poor, you've got to capitalise on it, because it doesn't last. And I did say to someone, if we keep it at 1-0 and try and see 1-0 out in this game, West Ham will come big second half, because they'll grow into it. Everyone does. I think it's a natural response and instinct for a team to chase something when they have to chase something. And it's a natural instinct for us to sit back. So personally, I think that when we go 1-0 up, I'd rather us go for it, because if we go for it when we're 1-0 up, the worst that could happen is they score and we go back to a draw, and then we start again fresh. That's what you've got to do when you're 1-0 up. But instead, we're holding on to a 1-0. You've got to, when you get this 1-0, that 1-0 is your reassurance that if they score, they're not winning. You're only drawing. That's massive for us. So when it's 1-0 and it's first half, and I'm seeing us passing the ball about thinking we're better than these and we'll try and carve out the perfect chance, and we're on the edge of the box. Dewsbury always got it in perfect positions. Grealish is laying it off to James Garner in angles, Garner gazing pockets. And I'm thinking to myself, we should be scoring 2-3 this first half just to put the game away. We didn't. We only scored 1. And we think to ourselves, and we've done this, this is a proper Everton thing. We think to ourselves that the game is going to stay the same as it feels when it's 1-0. It doesn't. Because when we're on top, when it's 1-0, we're passing it about and we're thinking, you know what? We're better than these. And we think 1-0 is good enough because we're in control when it's 1-0. But it doesn't stay like that. It really doesn't. And when we're 1-0 up, if we are going to become a proper team now and push for Europa League, or just push the top half of the table, not be in relegation battles, we have to believe in ourselves and be more dominant on the wins. So that's my say on that. And another thing that I will say that really peed me off today, and I know some people would disagree with this, if players start to slow down, fatigue, or just not play as well, they need to be brought off. I thought Jack Grealish slowed down on the left. I thought Iliman Ndiaye slowed down on the right. We brought Iliman Ndiaye off too late. We've got good players on the bench now. So I think when you could see West Ham coming back on top that second half, we should be bringing subs on to put us on top, to see their spell out where they're good. And I honestly do believe I watched the second half and I started to see Jack Grealish get a bit shattered and lose his voom. Jack Grealish is insane, by the way, but he's played a lot of games and he will get shattered, so you can bring him off. So I thought probably bring him off. And then Iliman Ndiaye, he started not tracking back as much. And Juve, who I mentioned before, cracking left back, was getting a bit of joy down that side with Somerville. So even Alcaraz on Dewsbury Hall, you can make that sub sometimes. If players do slow down and fatigue, you can bring that extra energy on to make us better. So that's my opinion. Paul, talk to me in the comments. We'll put your comments on the screen.
Yeah, I think the thing is, I think we've got enough energy, and I think the people playing had enough energy. I just think we weren't trying anything different. I think Jack needs Mikalenko or somebody to be every now and then making an overlap so he can use that as a decoy to then come inside and then have a few shots, because everyone we're playing is doubling up on him. And so he ends up either having to give the ball back to someone, or then he sort of drags it to the left-hand side, and then his crosses, I mean, just an example towards the end, you know what I mean? They're floated in. So they're not easy just to simple header or anything like that. We had a couple of bits of joy in the first few games. And I think teams are sort of realising now. But we just don't have movement in the area either. We have a lot of I'm not going to say possession, because we don't have more than the other side, but we have more sort of territory, sort of pressure, where we seem to be higher up the pitch, but not really creating anything. And that comes from movement for whoever's in the box. Even just playing the ball in and then setting it off for someone to have a shot. You know, Garner had a shot which went right down the keeper's throat second half. That was a little layoff, I think, by Grealish or somebody. Opportunities like that, but within the area. And we're just not doing that. We're just not doing it. Teams are defending decent against us, and we haven't really got many keys to unlock what they're putting in front of us.
Sometimes I wouldn't even mind, and I don't know if people agree. Tell me if you don't. It's fine. I wouldn't even mind seeing Alcaraz sometimes come on in James Garner's position or Garner Gay's. Like, just come on. Do you know where Grealish is carving out chances on the edge of the box, and he's just laying it off on the edge of the box, waiting for someone to run onto it and smash it in. I'd love Alcaraz to run onto some of those shots on the edge of the box sometimes. I feel he can score those type of chances. Or just have an extra man in the box, just to create the movement, because it's just so frustrating for me that you can see Jack Grealish has got the ball in such good positions, and he's just looking out for someone saying, you make the good movement, I'll put it on a sixpence and you'll get the chance to score. But it feels like we're not making that movement for Jack Grealish to put us in. And the movement's just not good in the final third for me, and it's frustrating because we've got the players now, I believe.
Yeah.
Don't you find that frustrating, Paul, that it's mentioned in the comments and you mentioned it? Don't you find it frustrating that we're frustrated with what's going on behind the striker, but we have got good players behind the striker now?
Yeah. Yeah. But we're not making any space. We're not making any space around the penalty spot, or we're not making any space where you can sort of play it through the channels and stuff. If, say, for example, sort of get it in your head, if Skilliman's got the ball on the right-hand side, right? He doesn't seem very often now to try to get to the line to get a crossing. He wants to come inside and have a shot or cross it in towards the far post, okay? Which is fine. If he comes across sort of in towards the pitch, then whoever's in the area can't be stood still, because if they're stood still, he's got nowhere to play it. Then all the defenders are literally like 5 of them there, and Iliman's just gone across, and he needs someone in this 5, someone between the defenders to move them from side to side so they follow him. and they create those gaps that you can play the ball into. And even if the striker isn't the one who gets the ball, he's creating a movement which separates the opposition defenders and creates that little bit of space, and that's what you need. But we're not doing it close enough to the goal. We're getting frustrated, and either we could try and get a cross in, which is not a good cross and gets headed away, or we lay it off to someone who's 25 yards away from goal to try and strike a worldie. And we're not really playing that very well. So we need, whoever it is, we need someone to create space in that area. The lads who are behind the striker, they'll find someone, if there's space to find somebody. And I don't think we're creating enough space when we get actually within the 18-yard box. It's just not.
Which we get that comment by Scar. He says, and Jai isn't happy because we're forcing the ball down the left to Grealish every time. And because it was when we didn't have Jack Grealish, it was get the ball to Jai because he's our only good winger, and he really did do what Jack Grealish does as well. So what do you think on that one?
I think he's got to make himself more of a weapon, to be honest. And like I said, when I said, Illiman will come inside, he's got to change that up a little bit. You're not going to have Jake O'Brien doing great overlaps. You know what I mean? And so, Endai is still like an amazing player. We still all really like him, but we do want him to be more successful when he's on the ball and try and create. But he needs a bit of space. Jack Grealish.
Is that right that because Dewsbury's got another yellow card, he's got to miss the next game?
That's so frustrating. Yeah, booking against Liverpool and then booking tonight, and it's built up so he can't play against Palace.
In the comments it says it'll be interesting to see how Charlie plays, getting his chance. Alcaraz, I'm sure he'll be chomping at the bit to get his chance.
If he does, because you never know him. Endai could play centre. I'd love to see that.
You know what really frustrates me?
Start dibbling on the right hand side.
Yeah, there's many of options, but you know what really frustrates me when you do I like Dewsbury, when you do like the players, but liking them isn't good enough. They need to create chances and score. That's the thing. Dewsbury's a good player. He's got technique, and you like him because he's good with his feet, he's technical and stuff like that. But we've got to be more brutal. Like that's how I feel. We've got to start making teams pay in these positions. And I think when we're 1-0 ahead, we should be scoring again. Now, West Ham, they look so poor. It looks so easy that first half. I knew that we should have got 2-3 goals out of that first half. And I knew they'd come back out of second half. And we was pinned back. It felt like at 60th minute, which is crazy, that we was defending out 1-0. Someone said to me in the pub, he goes, we're defending out now. We're sitting back trying to defend out 1-0. He goes, you're trying to defend 1-0, 60th minute. I goes, yeah, that is the big problem. I don't get why, when we've got so much ammunition on the bench, like Tyler Diblin, McNeil's not a bad player, by the way. McNeil, Alcaraz, all that energy on the bench now, a really strong bench. Why we're sitting back watching players fatigue, trying to see a 1-0 out. I personally don't think we should be doing that. We're a better team than that now. I don't think we should be doing it. And what it does, by the way, because you could see when we went for it first half, how that West Ham team was massively low on confidence. So we needed to keep our foot on the gas because they was low on confidence. So then I feel second half, when we start to sit back, you're just giving that West Ham team that's low on confidence. We're not keeping on the pressure, making them doubt themselves. We're sitting back. And then you could see Bowen starting to become the Bowen we all know. Fernandez start to push up in the centre. Juve start to bomb it down the left. Somerville start to have the ball because we've let these players become confident. And then all of a sudden you see the Everton players start to become less confident because they score. It's just, we need to sort it out. And some people will be going, a draw against West Ham, we haven't been beaten again at home. It's positive. I think you've got to set your bar a little bit higher now. Look at these players look at what they're capable of. That West Ham team hasn't won a game this season. We should be doing better than that. Our bar should be higher than that, I believe. And look how frustrated Paul is, as frustrated as me. So it's just frustrating to watch, isn't it? Because you know that everyone's been battering them, and we should have battered them with the way the first half panned out.
Yeah, and all right, take you back to Wolves away, like in the league, where Ndiaye scores far post, goes through Beto's legs or whatever. The build up in that, Grealish is inside the box on the 18-yard line. It's a little triangle pass. He chips it through between two defenders. It's the one where Dewsbury Hall has to jump over the legs of the defenders and then passes it across. In the build up to that, Beto and Ndiaye are in the box, but they've moved over. They've created a little bit of space, and that's why Grealish has kind of gone into that area, and then Dewsbury Hall is linked up with Grealish. We haven't had that in the last 3 games, including tonight. We've not had that in the last 3 games, and so something has to give, something has to change, and we have to create some of those spaces. Mal's on here. Mal's mentioned about Ndiaye is that switching it's too slow. Everything we seem to do now at the edge of the box is too slow because we don't have options in front, and there's not enough movement in front. I feel like literally just grabbing hold of Beto or Barry and like moving them away from that penalty spot.
A lot of stuff
and help us.
I want to see personally. Keep the comments coming in. We'll try and put as many on the screen. I just wanted to Moyes late with the subs. That's one comment there by Solo, and he said, "If you think Merlin's fit, would you be tempted to play Garner right back O'Brien?" Which I will speak about in a minute. But I was just going to say before that, I'd like to see Ndiaye give him the ball, but play it to him fast and give it to him when the left back's on the back. I want to see Ndiaye get the ball behind the left back, and I want to see Jack get the ball behind the left back, because I feel when they're running backwards, then you can see players running the box, and Grealish is going to really hurt them then. So I want to see our wingers get the ball and us play it behind their fullbacks. And that's when you'll become dangerous, because I'm seeing Ndiaye and Grealish, we're playing it to them that slow that the opposition have doubled up, and we're just squaring up and moving the ball back into the middle of the park, and they're less effective, and they've got players around. I think that's what you were saying as well, isn't it, Paul? I think we're not moving it fast enough to get our wingers in dangerous positions when they are on the ball. Our wingers are that good; they can still be effective when they're not in dangerous positions. But I feel we need to move the ball to put them in the dangerous positions faster. I really do. What do you think on the Merlin thing? If Merlin is fit, we'll talk about that because it's in the comments. Was Jake O'Brien a problem today, Paul?
Well, Somerville had him on toast, didn't he? It was just sort of a low. You couldn't have had 2 very different, much different winger v right back, could you? So low centre of gravity and all that, and Somerville's fast. So he did him a few times. He's never going to beat him in the air, but it was never that case. West Ham gave the ball to Somerville, say halfway line, and then Somerville would run at him. I do think we should have blocked the cross that came in for their equaliser. I think we were slow to react on that, and I do think that we could have got a cross to put a tackle in. I'm surprised no one sort of not went through him, but went through him and actually blocked that cross. So that was frustrating from that point of view. Jake O'Brien still did all right, but he's filling in. He's still filling in until we get a right back and someone who's better than him. And at the moment, we don't have anyone who is better at defending than Jake O'Brien. He's still a very, very good defender. And he wasn't beaten every time. There was plenty of times where he did win the ball back for us. And he is dangerous at corners if we actually take the corners correctly. So I won't be too harsh on Jake O'Brien. He was just up against their man of the match.
I watched Calvert-Lewin for Leeds, and I thought he's poor. He missed a one-on-one chance. I don't think
Mm.
crying out for Calvert-Lewin is the answer.
No, of
We
course.
just
Oh,
spoke
yeah.
about the
I'm sure that's tongue in
James
cheek.
Garner and O'Brien right back, but I honestly do believe that the striker is a big situation. I mean, I said Beto would score a brace. I think it was just wishful thinking that one of our strikers can pull the socks up and do something. Today, I thought Beto was poor. I'll always say it how it is. I put my hands up. We all want players to do well. We all get behind it. To let you down, they let you down. But you got behind it. I thought Beto was going to do well today. Thought he was poor. Thought his
I
hold
also
up play
think
was
he's too
really bad.
safe,
Thought
though.
his movement was good. I seen him run through past the defender in a really good run. One of Beto's good, powerful runs past the defender. And then once he got past the defender and made the run, Beto, he looked like he didn't know what to do, and he kind of just waited for someone to come and lost the ball. And even the commentators were saying like he just looks like he's never got the ball under control, Beto.
Yeah.
So
Well,
frustrating.
I listened to Dunk. Big Dunk was on Sky Sports, and he was saying about Beto that his game is getting in behind and jostling and eventually, scroping one into the corner for the goal. At the moment, he's not showing that he can physically hold off a defender and keep the ball for the team. He does it in flashes. There was a moment in the League Cup against Wolves, brings it down, turned brilliant. All right, what else? That was it, the one time. So that's a frustrating thing that we really need the help on doing and holding it up. So the three lads or whoever else can then support, but it's just not happening. So either those lads work in training and start improving, or you find an alternative, because the only way that we'll end up scoring will be through crosses like we did tonight. Good cross from Garner, cracking header from Keane, or shots from distance. And I don't fancy our chances, having seen the majority of our shots from distance.
See, me personally, a good comment there. I'll make no apologies. This is Mal saying, I'll make no apologies in saying O'Brien has been incredible from what I've
Yeah.
watched. I'm a big fan of the lad, and we should be bigging O'Brien up every game. He's sensational from what he's been doing at an elite level. And I think I personally don't think, and I know we say the fullbacks bombing forward could help the wingers, but I don't think the wingers massively need help. I think just the wingers probably should have been a bit more effective. I don't think it was massively because the fullbacks bombing past them. I just think it's because centre of midfield and not moving the ball quick enough to get the wingers into good positions. The only probably, if I was to say what's at fault today, I'd like Dewsbury to have been more dangerous in the 10. I would like a striker to be made better runs and holding the ball up better in Beto. And I say probably James Garner being more effective and Garner gay in the centre of midfield, because that's the problem. The two in the centre, because I think when Grealish is getting the ball like he was in good positions, I want to see our centre midfielders bombing onto it, saying, "Give it me! I'm going to blast this in top corner." I want them to be smashing into that box, because as a centre midfielder, you do want to just jump on it. And you see in Grealish in these positions where he's delaying, and eventually passes it to someone on the edge of the box who has a shot. But I want Garner to be making cracking movement. I want Garner Gates to be making good movement in the box. I honestly do believe. I feel like we're good on the wings, but we need to be good in the middle as well. And I think that if we become more good through the centre, it's going to give more room to our wingers, if you get what I mean. And it's going to help our wingers, because we can't just keep thinking we're good on the wings, we're going to move the ball out to the wingers, and that's our only way to score goals. I think we've got to start becoming good through the middle as well as the wings, and it'll just open everything up and catch the teams off guard, because I think we're predictable, if you know what I'm saying, Paul. It's like, because we know we're just going to play it to our wingers and hope they can spark something up, teams know they're not going to get much through the middle, and we didn't do much through the middle of the park today.
Yeah. Well, I go with, Ollie's made a good point here. Ollie's a Sunderland fan, but he's been with us the last few nights that we've been talking.
Right, go on, put it on again.
And yeah, and he was just sort of saying what I was mentioning before is that if the wingers don't see someone making a movement in the box, then they might not necessarily cross the ball, so they'll stop. And then they'll go back and we'll start again. And it'll go back to the centre backs and then it'll go across to the other side. And again, no one's making a movement or creating any space. So one thing has got to be moving all the time. Either the ball is moving or the players are moving. But what seems to happen is that we get in line with the 18-yard box and the ball stops and the players stop. And from that, that's easy to defend and you're not going to create a chance. At the very least, if the ball is still, people, like you said, should be moving off the ball to ask for it, to move into a space, to create something, and then the ball's given. If the ball isn't moving and the players aren't moving, then nothing happens. And too many times we get up to that place, we get up to the edge of the box, and we have a winger on the ball, and everyone stops. It stops the movement in the box. Centre backs are where they are because they know they're going to get the ball in a moment. Centre mids hang back. No one goes ahead of anyone. You never get one person, like you say, in centre backs. You're never going to get one person darting into the area, right, without the ball. They don't do it. Both of them sit back, and so nothing changes in terms of space. It's so frustrating.
Like, for example, it's why I said about movement, because I honestly do believe movement can make goals. And say Grealish has got the ball. Grealish has got the ball on the left. I want to see Beto and Dewsbury making movement to get the centre backs on the back foot, like to play the. Do you know, like just behind them. So I want to see when Grealish has got the ball, Dewsbury and Beto bombing it forward to make the centre backs move in that direction, and then I want to see centre midfielders just dropping off to make other movements, and then you just see the opposition. Then one centre back will go that way, the other centre back will go that way, another centre midfielder will go that way, and we're just going to open gaps up. That's how you've got to do it. But when we've got the ball, you're seeing Grealish have the ball, and you just watch when this happens. I hope it don't happen anymore, but you just watch today it happen. When Grealish has got the ball, you're seeing your players just stand there, not making a movement, just standing there and waiting for it where they are into the feet. And you can't do that. You've got to be moving the opposition, moving the players, moving into the spaces, because then it's either going to open it up for Jack Grealish or it's going to get Grealish to put the ball into a nice little more dangerous ball into the pocket. So it's the movement's got to get better. We've got to stop being lazy in that final third and make the movement. Our striker has always got to be trying to run behind the centre back, in my opinion, or if he's getting the cross, then be in a good position there. But he's always got to be trying to, even when we whip these balls in, Better's got to be looking to be on that freaking just poaching all the time. Very frustrating today.
So.
Very, very frustrating, because there was lads in the pub was ripping when I come out. Like, you can't even beat West Ham. West Ham have been poor. Like, we should be beating. We should be beating West Ham. We should. 1-0 up.
There's not many teams who can start pointing the finger at anyone this weekend. So I don't think anyone can say anything. This is just what we've got just in terms of ratings, and this is just flash score. So just to see what people think. To be fair, they obviously throw Keane as our best player on the night, so can't argue too much with it, to be honest. I think he did all right. He obviously scored the goal as well. Not great marks for Ndai, O'Brien, because we did get ripped on that side. Beto obviously didn't get a lot, but Barry didn't get much better either. So disappointing. I thought Mikalenko did all right. I thought he was unlucky to get booked. Paqueta, I tell you what, shit house. To be honest,
Brazilian,
a bit like was absolutely embarrassing.
Brazilian.
Embarrassing. Yeah,
I thought Mikalenko looked. I thought Mikalenko looked solid today.
Yeah, he did all right. I thought he did all right. A few people sort of, just popping in with a dig every now and then for Tarkowski. I think there was one that he could have maybe headed back to Pickford, or it seemed like it, but sort of stumbled around, and then West Ham got the ball back. But generally, I still think we're quite solid. Touch wood, do you know what I mean? And it's just been stupid mistakes. little
It was
stupid
a cracking
mistakes.
save. It was a cracking save by Pickford when O'Brien headed it back. And this wasn't a major mistake by O'Brien. He just headed it back to the keeper and didn't put enough
Yeah.
speed on it. And Somerville jumped on it. I think it was Somerville jumped on it. And when it showed you the replay in slow motion, Pickford did get his tips on it. He was alert. And Pickford didn't have enough. That was at 1-0. Pickford didn't have nothing to do then for a long time. And when he did have something to do, he stepped up. It's just a shame. Like I say, that was around 60th, that was around 50th minute, and you could see the goal coming then. That was like we were starting to be penned back then. It's just frustrating that we did that. It was such a poor second half from us, wasn't it? It was the depressing. Like the first half, he was
Yeah.
we was good, but you knew we should have scored more, and you was okay with the first half because we're 1-0 up. But the second half for me was just really bad second
Yeah.
half.
I think Ollie's just asking about the new ground and about it having an impact. I still think the new ground's great. I don't think it's affecting anyone negatively at all. I can't see how it could be, to be honest. I think if anything, it's positive. Noise is massive, especially tonight. Like, I mean, I wasn't there. Obviously, I wasn't there tonight, but it seemed like the noise was good, particularly at the beginning. So I wouldn't put anything negative towards the ground at all. To be honest, I think the
We
players are
do you
looking.
know what? Last 2-3 years we've been absolutely crap at Goodison Park. Anyway, we've just stayed up. I wouldn't start thinking we
Yeah,
was this fortress at Goodison Park that got frigging won the Premier League and got top four every season. We were shit at Goodison Park towards the end. I think personally, and we were the fans at Goodison Park. Sometimes, as much as we got them over the line, a lot of the time when we watched crap, there was nothing to cheer about. Some games were just boring last season. I think at
mm,
this new stadium, we are unbeaten at the new stadium. The fans are there. I could hear the atmosphere incredible today, but didn't really give them much to get behind second half. It was on the players today. I feel the subs wasn't quick enough by David Moyes, and I feel that the players didn't capitalise on West Ham first half. I don't think it was anything on the ground or anything like that.
yeah. Solo's just asking about what we sort of think going forward.
Do you know what? One thing I will say is that I feel that we can beat anybody. And I know that's you say that's mad, but I generally do think we can beat anybody. And I'm really confident about us this season. But what does worry me a little bit is that when we do get these leads, which I feel we can because we're quite good attacking, when we get 1-0 up, we're not dominant enough to go 2-3-0 up. So I'm hoping we can find the answer to that and start going 2-3-0
Yeah,
up because we've got to start winning games 2-3-1 or something like that because you can't just be Sean Dyche fucking get 1-0 and sit on it. You can't do that. We've got to become
no,
dominant. We've got to be like a shark in water. Do you know, like in boxing, right? And you hit the guy and he starts seeing stars. You've got to jump on him and knock him out. Why he's like that? Because if you don't, he can get back into the fight and knock you out later on. And I honestly feel like when we scored that Michael Keane goal, West Ham was everywhere. They were seeing stars. And instead of us putting our foot on the gas going in for the knockout, I feel we just literally was just started thinking we're quite good. We're going to win this instead of actually saying we need to get it 2-0 whilst West Ham are looking like the poor. That's just my opinion. That's what it felt like. Do you know what I mean? It just felt like when it was 1-0 and we just wasn't, we didn't want that 2-0 enough, Paul, whilst we was 1-0. That's what frustrates me. I feel that we just was happy with the 1-0. We've got to really push for that. Everton players, right? And this has probably been most of my conversation done now. When we go 1-0 up again next time when a team's playing poor, remember what bloody happened this game. Remember that later in your head, think to yourself that later on you'll end up 1-1 and you could even bloody lose 2-1. So when we are on top, make sure you bloody get something to show for it. Do you know what I mean? Make sure you've got enough. That's what I
yeah,
will say. When the other team's crap, make sure you get everything you can out of them being crap. And I think that's what we should have done today. I don't think we got enough out of West Ham when there was crap that first half. We should have been 2-3-0 up
yeah.
that first half, in my opinion.
I absolutely agree. I
Damn.
absolutely agree. Right, one second. So let me get rid of that. I mean, all the stats is saying
I was
is that we
excited
were
by that
fairly
game as
even.
well.
Is that we've? I know, yeah, yeah. Some people
And when was
like
1-0 up, Paul, I was just
saying
starting to
fancy
think to
more of
myself, when was
one.
1-0 up, I was just starting to think to myself, like, if we win this, we're starting to stack a few wins now. We can actually push for Europa League conference. And it went from thinking that if we win this, then we are looking good. Do you know what I mean? We are starting to beat teams now, easy. And then it went from thinking that we're going to win it to a draw against the poor West Ham, which didn't feel that good.
Well, we let them back in, didn't we? That was the problem, and they just grew with confidence then, and we were our own worst enemy, if anything. I just hope it's addressed before Sunday, so it's not even a Friday or Saturday game. So we have to wait until the Sunday, and it's one of the earlier kickoffs. I think is it 2 o'clocker. So so yeah, that's frustrating from that point of view.
It's, by the way, I just want to point out, I'm not being negative. It's not majorly bad.
No,
Everton have progressed a lot, but we're not keeping the bar to what it was other seasons when we've had crap players. We know the quality of players that have come in are really good, and so we should set a higher bar and a higher standard because we know we've got really good players. Jack Grealish is an incredible player. Iliman Ndiaye is an incredible player. Jules Bior, we've craved a good number 10. We've got Jules Bior and Alcaraz. We've gone and brought Tyler Diblin now, a fantastic winger. Paid a lot of money for him. So the bar is high now. Don't accept us being shit because we should be good with the players we've got now. We've got fantastic players now. We need to perform better. The bar's higher, people. The bar is higher.
it is. On another note, I've updated
No.
I've updated
No.
what you call it.
Done it already, yeah. You don't mess about this, man. If you haven't hit that like and
You can,
subscribe, please do so. It says 500 people have clicked on the screen, probably even more on all the social apps. If you can hit that like, we got loads of comments after the show last time, which was really good. Appreciation. That's
Yeah.
what we love. We do this for you. We put a lot of our time into it. But yeah, if you can hit the like and the subscribe and share it on anything you can, do so. Paul, show me what you've got, mate.
Here we go. So Keane got his first goal. So anyone who had Keane on Keane as their defender will be very happy. James Garner gets another assist. So it's always tight. Peter McCann and everyone in that 11 group will be pretty happy.
I'm in a relegation battle. You look, I'm like one place away from being relegated, and you're just like you're underneath me trying to knock. So basically, Paul and John Foster and Rod Ross are getting relegated to the Championship, and I could as well if I don't something. I had Beto today, and he let me down massively. What can I say?
I know. So yeah, it is tight. Oh, Cal got a 9 there. Cal will be 21st. So yeah, Rod's
Someone might have had who was the assist? Who was the assist?
Rod's Garner. James Garner.
Someone might have had Garner and Michael Keane.
In fact, actually, I can have a little look. To be honest with you,
someone might have had the assist and the goal scorer. That's a mad one.
That's what everyone's got. If you can see close enough, I'll let you have a zoom in. Anyone who's close enough to it. That's what everyone has got.
Some people might be watching it on the TV. How cool would that be?
They might be. Hey, why not? Why not? And if not, you can always zoom in later.
Live on TV.
Neither of us have got James Garner or Keane. Yeah, Rod's got Keane and Garner.
That's mad, that isn't it?
He's trying to lose.
Mad. That's what I said.
To be last. Yeah, he's trying to be last. and he scored the most tonight. So there you go. Cal Byron had Keane.
Keane. Who would have thought if you had Garner and Keane as assists that you would have got both points there?
Yeah. In fact, I'd say I think Rod's the only one who had Keane and James Garner.
Rod Ross is the dark horse, you know. Rod Ross is dark. What position is Rod Ross in again?
Well, exactly. He's bottom.
He's bottom.
Yeah.
Go back on it. I just know he said he got 2 points, but I didn't know what position he was in.
Yeah. He only had 1 point before tonight.
Oh, Rod Ross. How can you get 2 points? How can Rod Ross be the best person today and still be bottom? That's mad. Everton. That's a proper Everton thing, that isn't it?
Isn't it? Isn't
Rod
it
Ross.
just? Isn't it just?
Oh,
But
love it though. Man.
But you know, I'm not. No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. But let's just hope in this competition we do score some more goals and get more assists next week.
I just want to say, my partner says to me, Chloe says to me, Emma said she won the international thing. She ain't had her prize yet. Chloe said to me, we will give you a little trophy, Emma. We'll send it out for you winning the I haven't forgot that you beat us on the international thing. We'll send you a little trophy.
It'll be an antique. It'll be an antique by the time we get it to Emma.
Sometimes it takes a while for us to do stuff, but we do it. We do go through it. Trust me.
It won't take us a long time to get the prize though for this. So
we're just getting it engraved, Emma. You know what I mean? So it'll get engraved and sent. We'll get you a little trophy. That is the end of the show, people. I was coming home and I was thinking, I really can't be asked to talk about that crap that I've just watched. But we all do need to get it off our chest. We all have got stuff to say. Yeah, Chloe's got your back, Emma. We all have got stuff to say. We all need to get it off our chest. Loads have clicked on. It's match reaction. Whether you win or lose, you've got to face the music. It was disappointing. I feel that we should have won. It wasn't a loss on a positive. We're still unbeaten at home. We knew with these new players that it's not going to happen for us straight away. Stuff to learn. I think David Moyes, like we've just said on the channel now, that we hope that we learn from this. So we'll see in the next couple of games whether we do get better at movement, do get better in the final third. Maybe you might even see Moyes make a few changes. It does scare me that Moyes is very safe on subs. That's one thing that I'm worried about with David Moyes, is that I don't think he'll use the squad that much because he likes to leave the same players on the whole game. So, yeah, been a year since I've turned in. Love your vibes. Yeah, we love you too.
Good on you, Mal. Good on you. Good to have you back.
Right. Toffee Blue Casters. Who we got next?
Palace, 18 games unbeaten in all competitions.
You know what, though? I know this is mad, and you'll say I'm mad, and I'm a bit negative after that because I feel we should have won. But I actually fancy us more against Palace, who have unbeaten this season, than what I did against this West Ham team that have lost every game. I feel that's more of an Everton thing to go and beat Palace now. We did it against Brentford when there was on a 10 unbeaten, didn't we?
Yeah.
So it wasn't perfect, but we didn't lose. But if we go and smash Palace up when they haven't lost yet this season, then I'm happy with that. Let's do it. Let's just move on. Build a bridge. Get over it. Put it right next game. It wasn't that bad. There's stuff to work on, though. Paul, last words.
Enjoy your week, everyone. Shake it off. Hey, we're still unbeaten at home.
Shake it off. Yeah, shake
still
it
unbeaten
off.
At home. And I've got a feeling. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, you have to be positive. You just have to be positive because you love Everton that much. You can't keep your head down for that long. It's frustrating. Trust me. If you listen to me at the start when I first come on, fuming, got a lot of it off my chest, and now I know you have. The only way you can move forward is by moving on, and we've got to move on from that game. We've got to get better. Look at Paul; he's stretching already, ready for the next game. He's ready for Crystal Palace. Have a boss one, people. Make sure you do hit that like and subscribe to support us. Up the Toffees, and we'll be back with a pre-match Crystal Palace. Just got told, so let's do this. Drop in the banner. Up the Toffees. The ground. By the way, I just want to say, when I was playing my pool match tonight, there was a guy that was playing. He seen me with this Everton top on. He goes, "Oh, you support Everton, the opposition at pool," and he's like, "That ground is beautiful. It looked nice under the lights tonight." He's like, "That ground looks insane." It made me so proud. I was like, "Yeah." I said, we had the guy that designed the stadium on the show. He goes, "Did you?" And I was like, "Yeah." But I goes, "It's just the ground tonight under the lights just looks superb." And I think we should always appreciate that. You know, it's a beautiful ground that we've got. We just need to start being a beautiful team.
Dead
What a
right.
ground. Up Toffers.
Dan,
See you later, everyone.
Dan won as well. Yes, he did.